हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द बेस्ट फ्रेंड कन्वर्सेशन TBC। आज का जो टॉपिक है इस वीडियो का वो है प्रिमिटिव डेटा टाइप। सो द कंटेंट ऑफ द वीडियो इज प्रिमिटिव डेटा टाइप फॉलोड बाय द रैपर क्लासेस एंड कास्टिंग, दैट इज एक्सप्लिसिट एंड इम्प्लिसिट कास्टिंग। हम इस वीडियो में इन तीनों टॉपिक को कवर करेंगे, तो देखते हैं इस वीडियो में लास्ट तक बने रहिए। सो हियर इज अवर फर्स्ट टॉपिक, दैट इज प्रिमिटिव डेटा टाइप। जावा हैव 8 primitive data types. So Java defines the 8 primitive types of data, that is byte, short, int, long, char, float, double, and boolean. And these 8 data types can be put in 4 groups, that is integer, floating point, boolean, and character. So integer, that is first our group that have byte, short, int, and long. So its integer is the group that contain the byte, short, int, and long primitive data types. Another one is boolean, which contain the boolean primitive data types. The floating point group contain the float and double data types, and the characters that contain the char data type. This is how the 4 groups contain all the 8 primitive data types. So the next topic is wrapper classes. Firstly, what is wrapper classes? Wrapper classes contains about the size of each primitive data types. It knows the size of the data type. Wrapper class knows the maximum and minimum value of particular primitive data types, and the wrapper class in Java provides a mechanism to convert primitive data types into objects and objects into primitive. Java provides type wrappers, which are classes that encapsulate a primitive type with an object. Here is the primitive data types and their wrapper class. So byte is a primitive data types, but its wrapper class is byte with capital B. Similarly, for short, the primitive data type, the wrapper class is short with capital S. In int primitive data types, the wrapper class is integer with capital I. Mind it. So primitive data type long have wrapper class long with capital L. Similarly with float, double, boolean. But in char, we have the wrapper class as character with capital C. So our next topic is what is casting. So typecasting is basically the process of converting a data type. Conversion of data type into another data type. That is, any primitive data type can be converted from one data type to another data type. It can be done manually as well as automatically by compiler, manually by programmer. So type of casting is explicit and implicit. In explicit, you can convert the large type into smaller type. I mean the large type value, the large type primitive data type into a smaller primitive data type. And in implicit, we can convert the small type into a large type, that is small data type into a large data type. That's what we do in implicit. In explicit, we use some special form that we'll see in our ID. So let's go our ID. In ID, here we will see the wrapper class, how it contains the size and minimum and maximum value of primitive data type, and explicit and implicit typecasting. Before that, we have to know which one is larger data type and which one is smaller data type. So byte is smaller than short, which is smaller than int, and which is smaller than long. It is basically in integer. It is an integer group. This, so in a floating group, float is less than double. This is in floating point group. In boolean, there is only one thing. The boolean group contains the boolean data type. But yes, boolean and in char, that is only in character group. So these are the groups which contain the all 8 data types. Let's talk about what wrapper class can do. How can we find out the exact min and maximum value and the size of the particular primitive data type? To find the size and minimum and maximum value of a primitive data type with the help of wrapper class, let's do it with the help of ID. Let's create a main method. Here we will print the size of byte. So byte primitive type with the help of, so what is the size? Mind it, all the letter of size will be in capital letter in uppercase, no lowercase in the word size. So the size, let's see the size of the byte data type. So size of a byte data type is 8. Actually, it is in bits, not in byte. So to convert it in byte, so this data type is in bits. As we know, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So this is the size of a byte data type in bits, 8. To find out the size of a byte in bytes, we will do byte dot bytes. This will give the answer in bytes, not in bits. It's in bytes. So see, this is one. So this is the output of a size of a primitive data type, that is byte in bytes, 1 byte. Similarly, we can find out the maximum and minimum number that we can enter in maximum number in byte data type, that is with the help of wrapper class we know byte dot max underscore value. Here also this all the letter of the max value must be in uppercase, and the minimum number or value that we can enter in a byte data type will be byte dot max value. So let's print this and we will find the, so here's the answer. The maximum number we can enter in sorry, this is the min value. Let's make it more clear giving some space and colon. So the maximum number in a byte data type is 127, whereas the minimum number in a byte data type is minus 128. This is the exact number what we have learned and seen in books as well as in websites. So this is how we can find the size, minimum and maximum data type, or minimum and maximum value of a particular data type with the help of wrapper class. So this can be done in integer, in boolean and character too. So now we will take the example of casting, typecasting. As you know, the typecasting is used to convert the value of particular data type to another data type. So let's take the, it has two types, explicit and implicit. Let's take the example of implicit. So in implicit, we know that the value of a smaller data type get converted into the larger data type. So if take the example int I that has value 10, and this is a integer type value, int type value of 10. Now if you want to change it to long, as you know long is larger than the integer, so long L that has a value of I, so we know the value of I is 10. Let's see, this is a long type value of 10. So now the value that is in I, it is of integer type, get converted into the long type. This is a method called implicit, as we can see. So now take the example of explicit. As we know, explicit is used to change the data type of larger type into other smaller side type. So that we can do, let's take the example, the larger type can be long L. Let's take the L1. The value can be of larger type. So this is the value of long, this is of larger type. This is a long type value. This is L. Now what we want is to change it to integer type. So let's take the example in x and l. Oh, it's saying something went wrong. How can we do that? We can do it by making it typecast. Now it get converted into the integer. This is an int value, int type value of. So we print this, we will see the explicit. So this is the long type value. Oops, I have get it L1. Now this. So let's run this and we will find the output. So this is the long type value of long L1 and that can get converted into the integer type. So x. So this is the value of x. Both are same, but the data type get changed. So this is all about the primitive data type, wrapper class, and typecasting. So thank you for watching this video.